and welcome to Conversations with Terryanne. I am so excited because I'm hosting a lady who I actually used to tell friends, like I would see her on the billboard, I'm like, oh my god, she's the most beautiful woman I've ever seen. And then I eventually met her, so I'm so excited to introduce Maureen Waititu to Conversations with Terryanne. Thank you so much for coming. How are you doing?
Wow. I am at my best. This is the best season of my life. I'm good, I'm healthy, I'm working, everything is as it should be.
And of course, I see you on Instagram a lot, stalking you. I love what you're up to, by the way.
So
I think you're doing an amazing job, working out, hanging out with your kids, traveling the world.
Yes.
But we'll get to that in just a moment.
Yes.
I'm curious about how where you grew up. Where did you grow up?
I'm a simple girl who grew up everywhere. Back in the days, I think as long as you're in a home, that's your home.
Yeah.
So my mom lived in Gara, and then my grandparents lived in Kiambu, and then my uncle and auntie lived in Thome. So I was in between these places until I moved out when I was 18 years old.
18?
Yes.
Where were you going to?
Well, I've always had this. I started working when I was 16. Yes, but I would volunteer in our church office. So there was a pastor's wife who was amazing, Mrs. Gay. If you're watching this, thank you. And I'd go volunteer and I'd learn a few skills here and there. You should have seen my CV when I cleared for 4.
Oh wow!
It was like half a page.
Isn't that amazing though? Because I feel like these days we don't. It doesn't happen that much.
No.
We were encouraged to do a lot more.
That's the thing.
With that.
And that's what happens even in other countries. You find 16-year-olds working in McDonald's and all that. We don't have that culture here. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I guess I learned it from the word go. I did what I could do.
Yeah. So when you moved from Thome, where did you go?
Believe it or not, my first house was in Mathare North.
Really?
Oh yes.
What were you? Okay, how did that happen?
So first of all, when I was moving, I had saved some money because I was working as a waitress.
Okay.
And then
wow.
And I had a budget.
Yeah.
And I knew for sure I needed to start my life. And I remember a young man who was selling earrings in town. And it's my mom who had introduced me to him because I used to buy earrings on my way to school.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he was like a big brother. And I remember coming to him because I used to take the matatus to Thome where he had his shop. It was actually just a stall outside on a wall.
Yeah.
And I asked him, Johnny, I have this money and I want a house. And he took me to Mathare North. I didn't even know it was Mathare North.
Wow.
Yes, but I found like a room with a bathroom and a little sink.
Yeah.
Later on, when my mom was bringing me, because yes, I went back to her and I asked for her blessings, and I encouraged every person or young person before you leave your home or wherever you are and hosted, ask for blessings. Yeah. It's very important.
You hadn't asked for blessings before?
No. That I asked it. I asked for it when I was leaving. Okay. Because I went to my mom and told her I'm moving. Yeah. So she brought me, and that's when she was like, "This is mother-in-law." And I was like, "Oh, it is." But well, I stayed there for about a year, and then I moved around.
And at that time, you were working in a hotel?
Yes, I know. By that time, I started working in a car company.
What were you doing? And
I was a PA.
That's at 19?
19 years.
You're quite the hustler.
Yes. I've always done something in my life.
I love that. Yes. No wonder you're so busy until now.
That's the thing. This is the only life I've known.
Oh,
so
wow.
I've always worked an education because every time I'm doing all these things, I had my computer packages, ICDL, I had my driving. But when I was working in the car company, I had even a little car, a duet. Yes. And taking the cars to the bazaar every Sunday. I think that still happens.
Yes, it does.
So yes, I've always been the hustler.
My goodness, that's amazing. And then you did law?
And then I did law. I joined Kenyatta University in 2010. And boom, I was like just hitting my grades, never failed even a single paper, graduated, went to Kenya School of Law. That's why I got pregnant with my firstborn. And obviously because of pregnancy and some few complications that came up with the baby.
Yeah.
I delayed with completing all my exam papers.
Yeah.
No regrets, because now I think living my best life in what I'm doing.
Why law though? Was it a deliberate choice? Did you always want to be a lawyer when you were growing up?
No, I didn't. It's one of those. I have an amazing uncle who I lived with when I was in high school, and he's typical African parent. What a na ukwe either lawyer, doctor, or even order to be a journalist.
Really?
Yes.
I'm sure you thank God you didn't take that.
No, I thank God I took law. And the beauty with law is that you can be able to do everything. But
That's
then,
true.
yes, he told me, I think you're too smart for that. Obviously, this is not to degrade or journalists, but I think he thought that time is just looking pretty reading the news.
No, I totally hear you, because even for us when we were growing up,
right,
I don't think journalism was something we were encouraged to do. You know, it was law. I wanted to be a lawyer. it was law, doctor,
engineer,
but at some point I just wanted to be a journalist.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I like what you say about, because it reminds me a conversation I was having with some friends who were asking for advice about young people who wanted to get into college to do journalism.
Okay.
And even though I went to school for journalism, I wish I went to school for something else first, and then maybe second degree or a diploma. Then you can do that in journalism. Because now more than ever, specialization is becoming more and more important.
I agree.
When you look at channels, like CNBC in the US, many of those people are actually stockbrokers first.
It's true.
If you look at legal, they have legal experts who are journalists.
Yes.
Like now what Terryanne has with, Dr. Massacre, she's a trained doctor and she's a journalist.
Yes.
So I absolutely feel you on the law thing.
True.
So tell me though, so after law, we first saw you on Nameless's video.
Ooh.
How did that happen?
I was just minding my own business and I got a call from Jay Blessing. And he said, "Hey Maureen, I want you to come on board for Nameless song." And obviously, I had set some standards. Should I ever go? Because this is part of my modeling, and I love Nameless and respect him, and Wahoo as well. So I was excited. I went. I remember we met at a studio on Gong Road, and he asked me, "Can you dance?" And I was like, "Not dance. No. If you want me to dance in your video, it's going down." And he was like, "I want you to listen to these 2 songs and you tell me which one touches you and which one you can, And he played the first song. I was like, "Okay, let me hear the next song, which is Inspire." And I was like, "That's the one. I'm gonna deliver." Of course, I was so nervous. I mean, he's an icon.
Of course.
He's an icon.
Yeah.
And before I knew it, we went to Oloitoktok near the Mount Kilimanjaro with the animals. And
it was
that
beautiful.
video. Oh, it was so beautiful.
Inspire is beautiful.
Yes.
We'll probably try and find it and see if we can place it somewhere on the edit.
Yes.
And then after that, you started creating content. That's in 2017.
Yeah, so by this time I was growing quite fast. And again, Instagram is pretty new. People think it's been there since forever. So it was really catching in Kenya. So we're talking about 4 years ago. 2017, yes. 4 years ago. And people kept pushing me. They're like, "No, you need to go public." I had a private page with 10,000 followers.
Wow, already at that time?
Yes. Wow. Yes, but I was very private. I was so scared.
Yeah. What were you scared of?
I mean, the obvious. You don't know how people are going to receive you.
Yeah.
But then there was this message in my heart, which till now it's always my mantra. Even with the content I create, I always ask myself, does my content inspire? Does my content inform? It's not just about putting empty content out there.
Yeah.
And before I knew it, I built a community, especially of women who are, growing. In fact, I usually say my firstborn was raised by my my community on content now. And then later on, with my ex, obviously we started something different. A year later, and people started knowing us. So when we went separate ways, I just went up.
Yeah. So you were recently out of the country.
Gosh.
It was so, no, the pictures first of all were so beautiful. You made all of us completely jealous and of course curious.
Yes.
How is that going?
Wow, Terry.
Yeah.
Terryanne.
Oh, I love that.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm loved.
Yeah.
I'm appreciated. When I say he's a king, he's a real king.
Wow.
This man is everything I prayed for. Because I prayed for. I had a list of like, God, tick, tick, tick.
Yeah.
And out of nowhere.
I was going to ask, where did you
Yes,
meet?
out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Out of nowhere. I'm just going to say that.
Yeah.
I don't want to say where I
Okay.
went because it's been a very private,
Yeah.
but very solid and very solid relationship.
I respect that.
Which we have been, I kept saying, I've struggled with things like mental health, depression, anxiety, and having a person who you can openly tell. I mean, when he asked me to be his girl, I was like, do you realize, like, look at this mess?
Yeah.
Like, yo, have you seen what's going on social media? Do you realize I'm a mom of two? Do you realize I've struggled with mental health? And it's like, oh yeah, I want all that.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yes, he didn't try to fix me or anything, but he nudges me to a point whereby he says, if you ever go, because I still go for therapy, and your doctor wants something I can do, just tell me. So he's like my greatest cheerleader, my greatest fan, and every day he's been consistent. In fact, every day I'm like, okay, until I got out to a point of pushing him away to now getting very confident because my confidence had been broken. And he's been amazing.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, I love that, and just seeing you embracing that again, because sometimes if you go through, a relationship breakup that is so public, everybody is so invested, it feels like everyone is so angry at you for so I was personally very excited to see you out there and just embracing love again.
Yeah.
And so I'm just, goosebumps.
Yeah.
Totally goosebumps. I'm very happy for you, and I really, really wish you all the best. So let's talk about your brand. I mean, you're very serious about what you're doing. You have, consistently built content over time. You've built, a magnet of followers who love what you do, and I see their comments on your pages as well.
Yes.
How did you decide, I'm going to build this brand, and no matter what winds hit me,
Yes.
I will stand up and I will go?
That's a very good question because I asked myself that.
Yeah.
And what has kept me going is the fact that I block out the noise and I do what inspires me. And I say anything you'll ever see on my page, if I'm gonna give it up to the world, because that's the only way I can let anyone in, it has to be very intentional. Hence the purpose of inspiration and information. And definitely I've also, my unique sense of things is that I think I'm the most vulnerable person and the strongest woman. And it's a balance many have not mastered. And I'm not afraid of showing up and saying, hey guys, this happens. And so with time you find people really relate. In fact, I usually say what you see on the comments is nothing compared to what is in my DMs. Every day I have messages random people from all over the world, and they say, keep doing what you're doing. Or because of you, I'm healed. Oh my goodness, you found love. I have hope because someone has been broken so bad. And let me tell you, like you said, when you're out in public, it's like people live on your behalf. And it's very easy for it to get into your head.
True.
And I said, you know what? I don't care if my heart was broken, I was humiliated. I'm going to love again and I'm going to be loved. I don't care if people will give me 10 likes, or I don't even care about those things. I usually say, do I feel good when I put that message out there? Hence, it's very easy to vibe, and you can only relate to that person who you identify with. And I didn't realize that so many women both young and older. I meet moms. They're like, oh, my daughter was showing me your channel, and I'm like, oh Lord, I will never stop doing what I'm doing.
Yes.
And then also that balance of motherhood, embracing the fact that it's okay to be not okay. And when you win, you better celebrate it. I mean, we have to balance it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh gosh, I really, I love that, and I love that you've embraced life as it comes, because it's never always on a high. And authenticity is being who you are, whether it's the low times or whether it is
the high times.
Yeah.
And I was gonna say, at first, especially when I had to start this thing on my own, I was scrambling. It was like I was on survival mode, and that's what keeps me going till now. But sometimes you see me going through something, and you're like, "This woman, I need to stop." I'm like, no, I don't stop. I go until I can't go anymore, which really never happens.
Yeah.
But now I feel very stable, very sober, and I'm able to now even build my brand like any other company. Like literally, I have a day every week where I sit down and I have my checklist, my business opportunities.
Because you are a company in your own right.
Exactly. Let me brag a bit.
Yes.
He made me do that. We have a date every once a week just to talk about my brand.
I love that.
Yes. He tells me, write it down. What have you done this week? What about this opportunity?
Yeah, that's amazing. And that's different.
It is. So that's what I'm telling you. I'm like, what's going on? God, what's going on?
Enjoy it.
Yeah, I am.
Enjoy it. Is there such a thing as thick skin? Because I know you get that question all the time, possibly, but when you're hurt, you're hurt.
When you're hurt, you're hurt. And that's the whole point.
Does it get better?
Yes.
Yeah.
Not thick skin. I don't believe in thick skin. Yeah. I believe in building yourself, not to tolerate. Because sometimes you can be putting yourself in a situation whereby people will be keeping you. Yeah. Ask yourself, am I growing to become a better person? So again, I have this prayer and believe that any situation I'm in, it's preparing me to be a better person. I don't believe in thick skin, I believe in grace. And yes, so whenever I'm down and out, I say to God, cover me. Even if I bump into anybody out there at the supermarket, they just see grace. They do not see the underneath. And then people need to normalize embracing pain, embracing everything that's happening, because there's a reason for it. That's true. And then there's the other side of it. Postponing it will not, because people hide, they cover, it still comes out eventually.
I totally agree with you, because I always say God allows you to go through things because there's something He needs you to learn.
For His grace.
Exactly. Yes. And He will never give you something that you're not strong enough to do.
Exactly.
And if you're not, He'll give you the strength.
Yes.
Right?
And you have to have the attitude, you have to accept this.
And you have to
accept the strength.
Wow. Yes. So what do we expect from you going forward? I mean, you're doing so much. I look at your page, I'm like, busy.
Yeah.
But I love busy. Busy means there's food on the table.
Yes.
Busy means great things are happening.
Yeah.
Busy means, there's less anxiety.
Exactly.
How is that going? How, what clients do you have on board? What are we expecting going forward?
Yeah. Oh, and busy means paid too.
And busy means money.
Yeah. So, you have to live a life whereby you ask yourself, what if I'm not here today? What's going to happen? Take your insurances, take your education policies, have a savings plan, have your will, even if you don't have anything, even if it's just clothes. A will is
that's Maureen, the lawyer speaking.
Exactly. No, this is the lawyer in me speaking.
Yeah.
Obviously, investments and establishing a few businesses, which with time I'll announce. And then they will run themselves. I want my money to work for me because I want to live, girl. I want to live and travel more.
I know.
Yes.
And you want to leave a legacy, clearly.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
I said I don't come from a wealthy family, and we are not even close. But I'm gonna be the first person who leaves that generational wealth.
Oh wow, building generational wealth. And that's something that we rarely are told or taught. How do you, what advice would you have for young people in terms of building generational wealth? And I mean, you're right, many of us do not come from a background that is of wealth or provision or comfort. But we do have the chance to turn that around.
That's the thing. And what people think is that I'm not an expert when it comes to financial matters, but I'm learning a lot along the way. Start with what you have, all right? There's a chance that you can spare, even if it's 500 shillings. Let's talk about 21 year old who just joined college or is in third year. Put that money aside. Put it aside. Let it grow. Join like-minded people to grow even bigger. Be open to learning because people invest. Look, at the same time, what you put in your head is what's going to blow your head. That's why you see a lot of people who are, in a way, so invested in, again, I'm not sorry to say this, but idleness, and they mind people's businesses instead of minding their own. And when they say mind your own business, it's not necessarily,
it's not necessarily a bad thing.
Exactly. Yeah. Like, ask yourself, am I doing something every day that's bringing me to become the person I want to be tomorrow? It's that simple. And it's the tiniest steps. It's the deciding I'm gonna take my 8 glasses of water every day so that I can be healthy. It's if I'm going to be in a relationship, I'm going to ask myself X, Y, and Z questions. And relationships are linked with friendships, any kind of ships. Whereby you ask yourself, are these people bringing meaning value to my life? Situationships, right? So always go higher. Change your mindset. Think about, don't keep up. It's not a rat race. We are all gonna end up in the same place. The journey is what matters. So every day live consciously. It's okay to have fun. Balance, baby. I like saying balance.
Balance, baby.
Balance.
I love that.
Yes.
So as we come to an end, Maureen, I just want to first of all just hear from you. Perhaps some of the biggest lessons you've learned, this year, last year, and not to take you back to what is already in the public domain. I think that's already been talked about so much. We don't need to touch on it.
Yes. Acceptance is something again a lot of people have not managed to handle. When there's an issue within you, but you refuse, it'll blow up. So I've learned the art of acceptance, vulnerability, and trust, and prayer, putting God first in everything. Anything you ever make, any foundation, even when you buy a new car, that phone, put your hands in it and let God lead the way.
Wow, I love that. Please pass our love to the kids and to the mystery man. But thank you so much for coming. It's been amazing to host you to hear your story. And it's very inspiring how positive you are about life. And it's definitely rubbing onto me, and I'm sure rubbing onto those who will be watching as well.
I'm so happy.
So thank you. Thank you so much. I wish you all the very best. Go and be loved.
Yes, I deserve it.
You do deserve it.
We all do.
That's true.
We all do.
Thank you so much.
Thank you
God
for having
bless.
me. Thank you. God bless you too.